Okay, let's talk about taking a big number like this and writing it in terms of scientific notation. So we're going to do this problem and we'll do a few others so you understand the importance of being able to write a number into scientific notation. And we're going to get to all of that in just 1 second. But first, let me go ahead and introduce myself. My name is John. I'm the founder of TabletClass Math. I'm also a middle and high school math teacher, and over many years, I've constructed a ton of very comprehensive online video-based math courses. So if you need to take a math course, but you're probably likely in a math course, my program can help you. So, for example, if you're taking college algebra or intermediate algebra, algebra 1 geometry, whatever the case might be, a lot of people will use my program as a supplement, if you will, if you're not really understanding what's going on in your course. So if you like my teaching style and you want my complete, full, best work, then I'm going to leave a link to my Math Help program for you in the description of this video. Also, I offer notes. Everyone needs to have a strong pair of math notes. So if your notes need some improvement, you should, one, be looking to improve in note taking. That is a critical skill to learn math. But if you need a strong pair of notes, I offer pre-algebra, algebra 1, algebra 2 trigonometry, and geometry notes. You can find the links to those in the description as well. Okay, let's get into this scientific notation. So, let's just look at this word here, scientific. You can always tell a lot about a concept by just thinking about what the words, the term or the description, is saying. So we're talking about some sort of scientific situation, right? Think about science. Or like, oh, what comes to mind in science? Well, you might think about like astronomy. Here's the Earth, there's the sun. How many miles away is that? I don't know. I think it's pretty far, right? I think 93 billion, million, whatever the case is, but it's a whole bunch of numbers, okay? Or you might think about a little cell in our body. Yeah, I mean, what's the dimensions of that? It's pretty small, 0.0000001 millimeters, centimeters, whatever you think about. In science, we tend to use very, very large numbers and very, very small numbers, right? And then we have this other word over here, notation, right? Scientific notation. And what's notation? It's just a way of writing, right? It's just writing something in a particular way. So scientific notation's all about making it easier for us to work with very large numbers or very small numbers. So like this particular number here, um, you know, it's 48,252,000. I mean, this is, if I have to write this, several times to as a description of some sort of calculation, yeah, it gets tiresome and cumbersome. Okay. So there's a better way of writing a number like this. And this number currently is what we call like in standard form. It's kind of in its kind of default state, right? The way we typically write numbers. What we want to be able to do is to write a number like this into scientific notation. So, I like to express this or make clear to students that there is a reason why you're doing this. Okay, you're like, oh, this is just another, problem that math teachers are making us do for no good reason. No, there's absolutely good reason because, in science, physics, chemistry, biology, and whatnot, you'll see things expressed in scientific notation quite frequently. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about scientific notation now. So scientific notation, or at least what it looks like. Scientific notation is going to be a number, okay, times 10 to some power. Now this number, this first number, is going to be a number. It's often a decimal value. It's somewhere between 1 and 10, all right? It could be 1, but it could be no more, or it has to be under 10, okay? So it's got to be less than 10, but it could be 1 or more, right? So you'll see this here in an example. So we're going to get some sort of number like this, and we're going to multiply by 10 to some power, all right? So this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a number like this, and we're going to write it in this form, okay? So we're going to write it. This is oftentimes called expanded form or standard form, but we're going to take this, and we're going to write this into scientific notation. Okay, so let's get to it. Let's show you how this is done, and we'll take a look at another couple examples. So again, the setup is this. All right, I'm going to take a number between 1 and 10, all right, no more than 10 or less than 10, okay, 1 or greater and under 10. That's a better way. Let me just write that a little bit neater, okay. And then we're going to multiply by 10 to some power, okay. So we're going to have to rewrite this number into this format, okay. How do we do that? Well, first things first, we have to identify where the decimal point is on this number. Where is the decimal point at? Well, hopefully you said it's right there. Yes, and you would be correct. So I could write this number like this, or I could be like, oh, it's equal to this. These zeros don't tell us anything, particular because it's just zero. But here, if you need to write a zero, you're just going to know that this is where the decimal point is located in this number. Okay, and that is very important because I need to use these digits right here, and I got to write a number with these digits. Okay, I got to think of a number between 1 and 10. All right, between 1 and 10. So looking at the digits here, I'm thinking, what could be a number? Where could I plop this decimal point here? Where could I put it in between these numbers to form a number between 1 and 10? Let me just show you because I'm thinking I might be confusing some of you. If I plop this decimal point right in here, boop, okay, what do I get? I get the number 4.8252. 252. Okay, so the first step in scientific notation, writing a number into scientific notation, is to kind of conceptualize taking that decimal point and plopping it into the digits that you have, right here, not the zeros, okay? We'll address the zeros in a second. Just plopping that decimal point in someplace to, so these digits now represent a number between 1 and 10. Now, if I put the decimal point right here, I would have 48.252. Okay, obviously that's greater than 10. That's not going to work. If I put the decimal point too far, I would have 0.48252, and that's less than 1. That's not going to work. So the magic number is 4.8252. Okay, right here, this number again is between 1 and 10. All right, so really need to make sure that you understand this first step. All right, so this is where I want the decimal point, right in this location right there, right? Now, it's currently right here. So our next step is we need to determine how many spaces over what I would have to move the decimal point to be in this location right there, okay, to be in this location. So here's how you do it, all right? So you go like this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? I had to move that decimal point over 7 spaces to get to that 4.8 location. Now, what's the significance of that 7? That is going to be my power of 10, okay? So it's going to be 10 to the 7th power, all right? And we are done, okay? This is it. It's nothing more than that. Here is this number, all right? 48,252,000 expressed as scientific notation is this number, 4.8252 times 10 to the 7th power. Now, why is this beneficial to us? Because we're working with powers of 10. All right, this makes it a lot easier for us because we were working with the smaller number 4.8252 is much easier than dealing with this large number. Okay, and here there's other aspects to scientific notation and rounding and estimating and all that kind of good stuff. But this is, the skill. The specific skill of taking a number and writing it into scientific notation. Let's go ahead and practice a couple other ones real quick. Make sure you got the handle on it. Let's see here. How about 27,152? Let's see if you can write that number in scientific notation. So play along, and I'll go ahead and kind of help you out a little bit. So you're going to form a number between 1 and 10, all right? Then it's going to be times 10 to some power, all right? Okay, so let's go ahead and get to it. Of course, if you don't want to see the answer just yet, you want to pause the video. So where's the decimal point? The decimal point's right there, okay? So I'm moving a decimal point where? Well, 2.7 seems to me to be a good location, right? So 2.7152 is a number between 1 and 10, so that satisfies that part. So I need to put the decimal point again right in this place. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, right? So the answer here is going to be 2.7152 times 10 to the fourth power. Now, I'm going to give you another problem here. It's going to be a little bit of a twist on this. Here in this particular problem, I had to move the decimal point to the left, okay? When I moved the decimal point to the left, the power, okay, was positive. The power was positive. Let's take a look at another example here, okay? Because scientific notation can kind of go in a different direction here. How about this number? 0.000317, all right? Let's write this number now in scientific notation. So we're going to use the same concepts, all right? We want to get a number between 1 and 10, and this is going to be 10 to some power. But now here, obviously the decimal point is in this location. Remember the previous problems, like 27,000, the decimal point was here. So the decimal point was here in these previous problems. We had to go this way, okay? And when we did that, the power of 10 was positive. Now, to form a number, we have this decimal, this small decimal, 0.00317. I'm going to have to scoot that decimal point this direction because the number I need what? 0.317 is no good. 3.17 seems right, and 317 is too big, right? So it's like the three little bears, right? Who's sleeping in my bed. I guess that's how it goes. Anyways, it's like, hey, this one is just right. 3.17 is the number between 1 and 10 that we want. So I need to get that decimal point in this location right there, right, between the 3 and the 1. So currently, it's in this position, but let's use the same counting method. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we have to move that decimal point 4 places. Okay, but it's when you're moving it to the right, it's going to be negative. Okay, the power of 10 will be negative. All right, so this number right here, 0.000317, is equivalent to 3.7 times 10 to the negative fourth power. Okay. Obviously, we could do a ton more practice problems on this, and you need to understand scientific notation, which brings me to another skill that you need to understand, and that is working with powers and exponents. All right. So oftentimes, scientific notation is taught in part of a larger part of the chapter that deals with properties of powers and exponents, because you're turning numbers into powers of 10. So you need to know how to multiply powers, divide powers, take a power to a power, all this kind of good stuff. So if you're working with scientific notation, you really need to make sure you understand all the rules and properties of powers and exponents. Of course, I'm going to make some videos on that. But all of this is good stuff, okay? All this good math, is not going to stick in your long-term memory unless you practice it over and over and over again. So, these videos here that I do are designed to kind of, as a quick tutorial to kind of brush off some cobwebs or maybe clear up a little bit of confusion. But, you're not going to really, truly assimilate this, grasp this, comprehend it for the long run unless you practice it over and over and over again, okay? Now, along with practicing, there's a couple suggestions I have for you. One, hopefully you'll become a subscriber to my YouTube channel. I have hundreds and hundreds of videos. I have other videos on scientific notation, but it's probably not going to be enough. You'll certainly want to check out maybe my Math Help program, at least my algebra and beyond those courses. So at least the algebra level and anything more advanced to that. I get into heavy duty into powers and exponents, scientific notation, because this can be quite confusing for students. So if you want to see a lot of different type of problems fully solved, with full video solutions, then you'll want to check out one of my courses. But whether it's my course or whatever resource you're using, you have to practice this stuff. The only way you're going to get good at math is to understand, one, okay, what's going on, and then two, practice, practice, practice. Okay, practice the right way, being neat, structured, etc., etc. All right, so if this video helped you out and you enjoyed it, I'd certainly appreciate you smashing that like button. Again, I hope you consider becoming a subscriber. I'm really cranking out a lot of content on YouTube because I'm very passionate about helping people with math. So if you like my teaching style, there'll be more to come. All right, so with that being said, I definitely wish you all the best in your mathematics adventures and have a great day.